Good day everyone, this is Dr. Pavel Krastev in New Hyde Park, New York. Today we're going to be doing a surgery on site number 5 on a lovely patient, and we're going to be using the new and revolutionary system called the VGO, which stands for Variable Geometry Osteotomes. They are designed and manufactured by a wonderful German company called Helmut Zepf GmbH. The products just launched about 2 weeks ago, and we feature an anterior kit and a posterior kit. So the variable geometry osteotomes, known as the VGO, feature a anterior kit and a posterior kit, and today we're going to be using the kit that I'm currently showing right here, and our lovely assistant will open it up slightly so we can see it. So we'll be doing number 5 area, and this is what we're going to be using. Okay, now what makes these osteotomes very special is the patented taper escalation that we use, and what this means is we are producing much less crestal stress due to this patented formula that the osteotomes encounter. Now if you notice, we also have threaded tips on the anterior kit, okay, and this drives the instruments in place to the proper depth. Right there we have accessory tips which are used during immediate placement to prevent the drill from sliding in the socket as they typically do. That's why we have one that's offset, as you can see right there. Okay, now the straight tip is also used to mark sites as well as to align the proper trajectory. All right, now so let me show those one more time, and then I will start the surgery. So here I'm just showing you the posterior kit. Please raise that up slightly. Perfect. So take a look, folks. Okay, these are the tips. They're beautifully made by Helmut Zepf. As expected, Helmut Zepf produces the utmost quality products that I have ever seen. I'm sure those of you that have tried them will agree. So we look forward to having you guys join us later on and see the results. All right, now very briefly before we start, I'll mention one other thing. The posterior kit has one extra tip because we encounter wider bones in the posterior, so we have a total of 8 tips that are main tips in the posterior kit, and here they are one more time. I will show them. No, leave that alone, please. And they are the tips, they are the accessory tips, and we have special handles, and as you notice there's 2 handles for each kit, and this is so that the assistant can change the tips while the doctor is working. All right, but today we'll be focusing on using the anterior kit rather. All right, so here we have an additional very narrow tip to accommodate very skinny ridges, and there it is. It's called tip 0. So the anterior kit, during the video today, I will be talking about is the fact that we have tip 0, that's the first tip, then tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, tip 4, tip 5, and tip 6. Alright, so once again we start from tip 0, and this is to accommodate very narrow ridges. Alright, now on the posterior kit, which is seen right here, we have an extra tip to accommodate wider ridges in the posterior. Now one advantage also of our posterior kit is that it features a starting point of 5 millimeters in terms of the markings, and this is very useful whenever we do crestal sinus elevation. As most of you know, the minimum requirement for most of us when we do crestal elevation is 5 millimeters of starting bone. So for that reason we have placed a 5 millimeter mark on all the posterior osteotomes. Okay, now the biggest advantage of this system is how we do the bone dilation. We spread the deep bone and we do a wave-like dilation, which minimizes any possible damage that can occur in the crestal area of bone, which typically occurs with standard osteotomes when they are not used to the full working depth. Okay, there's a mathematical problem with current osteotomes, which I will be more than happy to explain to those of you further that further have questions to ask. And there will be a very detailed presentation which will be uploaded on YouTube very shortly, which will explain the concept. But for right now, let's say this. We have a special taper which manipulates the bone in a wave-like fashion, that it dilates, the instruments dilate the deep bone and then the crestal bone, deep bone, then the crestal bone. In this way, we're doing the dilation from a very deep starting point inside, and we are essentially making the dilation process very, very unique and much safer. So we hope you've enjoyed this short little video introducing you to the VGO system by Helmut Zepf in Germany, and we're going to start with the surgery. All right, thank you all for watching, and we look forward to having you join us again in the near future. Thank you all, and cheers.